Hi folks, RAYDVD here on the Movie Reviewers 100 channel again. This week we have another great actress, Rachel Weisz, who is very, very talented. She came to prominence in the Mummy films at the sort of start of her sort of film career. But she's gone on to prove that she's a very intelligent actress, and she's appeared in a lot of very thought-provoking films and stuff. I didn't know which film I was going to speak about, so I had a sort of Rachel Weisz weekend. I watched 2 films yesterday and I watched 2 films today. I'm going to speak about The Whistleblower later on. That's the film I've sort of picked. But yesterday I watched her in Constantine, which first time I seen it a few years ago. I didn't think it was all that good. But basically was watched a sort of pirate copy of the film, so this is the 3rd time I've watched it now, and it's a pretty good film. Keanu Reeves plays a guy called John Constantine, who is an exorcist, and he walks the earth looking out for demons to exorcise and send them back to hell and stuff. And Rachel Weisz plays a detective who, her sister has committed suicide and she's trying to work out the mystery and stuff. Keanu Reeves is just Keanu Reeves in this film. I don't think he's a particularly good actor, but and he's sort of no suited to this role. I thought an older guy would have been better, like a Ron Perlman or somebody. But Rachel Weisz gives a good performance in this. She's like I say, in the Mummy film it was all action and a sort of comedy, light adventure. In this film it's a wee bit more there's a wee bit more drama to it, although it's still a sort of fantasy film. But she's pretty good in this. So I would worth the watch in that one. The next film this was my second choice until I was on Facebook, and Scott, aka CineRam, I think he's maybe going to pick this or The Fountain, I believe. It just shows you that she's really she's been good at picking her film roles and stuff, and that shows you that there's a lot of thought-provoking films that she's been in. But this one is called The Shape of Things, where she stars with Gretchen Morrow, Paul Rudd, Rachel Weisz and Fred Weller. It's based on a play where these 4 actors actually played the same characters, and you can tell it's a bit of it's taken from a play. There isn't much locations, and there's a lot of dialogue in the film, but it's really good film. She gives a really good performance in this. So I'm not going to speak too much about it in case Scott does pick it, but this is one of the films that I'd rate if you wanted to watch a Rachel Weisz film. She's absolutely great in this. Another film I was going to talk about was Runaway Jury, which I watched this afternoon, and this is it's one of these sort of John Grisham novels. They were making a lot of films from like the Grisham novels and stuff, and this is pretty good. It's got a lot of star billing cast in it. You've got John Cusack, Gene Hackman, Dustin Hoffman, of course Rachel Weisz, and loads of character actors in it. This maybe is more noted. This is one of Gene Hackman's probably his last film. He made one more film, but I've never heard it, and it was like basically it was a comedy film. But this is one of his probably his last great roles. He plays the sort of bad guy in it. Typical Gene Hackman, chewing the scenery and stuff. And Rachel Weisz, she does not a lot to do in this film. Basically, she's sort of there to drive the plot along and stuff a wee bit. But she gives a good performance in it. Pretty good film, though. I would highly recommend seeing it if you like your sort of courtroom drama, event unfolding type films. Really pretty good film, but the film I've just watched is The Whistleblower. This is the 2nd time I've seen it. It was made in 2010, and it's based on a true story. Rachel Weisz plays a police officer from, let me see where she's from. She was from Nebraska. Her name was Catherine Bolkovac, I think that's how you say her name. And she goes and joins the United Nations police keeping force in post-war Bosnia, and she uncovers a human trafficking sex slavery syndicate that no, the more that she unravels it, it turns out that a lot of the UN peacekeeping officers in it are actually sort of involved in it. You know, they've sort of turned a blind eye at it. They've been getting like backhanders and stuff, and she uncovers this this sort of hotel where it's been used as a sex slave den, and she's trying to bring the perpetrators to justice and stuff. It's based on a true story. You know, Catherine Bolkovac, she's a real police officer, and a lot of it was, you see, a lot of it was covered up. You know, they end up when she gets to she finds out who these people are and stuff, and then she's digging deep to find out the rest of the perpetrators and stuff. They sack her and she goes back to America, but she sort of whistleblows it to the BBC News, who sends, you know, who puts it onto the news, and then there's investigations into the United Nations sort of corruption and stuff. People that are in know that nobody was ever found guilty. They were just sort of sent back to America and stuff because they have got diplomatic immunity, being the United Nations police officers and stuff. So nobody was brought to justice, but it highlighted the extent of the sort of corruption in the system, and it highlights what these sort of countries, there's still a lot of this going on. You know, racism, human trafficking and slavery, and on that sort of theme, it's a pretty good film. Direction wise, I've seen better. You know, it's a pretty bland sort of directed film. The cinematography is just it's pretty average. There's nothing sort of flashy in it. The music as well is pretty forgettable, but the actual themes are there to be seen. You know, and Rachel Weisz, I was reading that she was going to do this project way back in, I think, about 2005 or something, but she was expecting then, and she believed that she wasn't up to the role of playing Catherine Bolkovac, and then she found out about it in later years, 4 or 5 years later, and she decided that she was wanting to play this role and get this film made, because nobody had actually made the film. So she was a pretty integral part of getting this film made. It's a pretty hard watch. You know, there's some of the scenes in it, there's a couple of rape scenes in it, there's a couple of torture scenes, and it's pretty hard to watch actually. But Rachel Weisz is worth just to see in this film, just for her performance in it alone. She plays the character. No, she's a flawed sort of woman in it. No, she's no sort of saint. She's, her own sort of family life is in turmoil. She's lost the custody of her kids and stuff, and she goes to work for the UN police force just to get some money to try and win back the kids and stuff. But once she finds out that the extent of the corruption within the UN force and stuff, she's like our sort of good qualities come through and stuff, and if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have been highlighted and stuff. So yeah, pretty good film. You know, pretty hard subject matter, pretty tough scenes in it, but worthwhile for just to see how good an actress she actually is. So look out for the rest of the boys' reviews during the week. I'm sure they'll be good. There's plenty of brilliant films that she was in, so I'll be looking forward to seeing them myself. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.